Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Ajulam here. Thank you so much for coming around, and if this is your first time of coming across my channel, you're welcome. Kindly subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that I get to know anytime I upload a new video. And for my returning subscribers, I appreciate you all. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a pleated ball dress with a halter neck for an 8-year-old baby girl. So if you're interested, keep on watching. I have 3 yards of satin. This is what I'll be using for the down parts. If you check my previous video, this is the halter neck. I've done the upper part already. So this is just the continuation so that you can see the final look of this outfit. Okay, you can check up that video to see how I made this halter neck bodice. So this is what I'll be using. This is 3 yards of satin. Okay, I am using 3 yards because I want it to be a floor length. This dress is for an 8-year-old baby girl. So I'm going to fold this in a triangle way, same way you fold your fabric when making a half circle. So as you can see, I've folded my fabric in a triangle way. So now to determine the pleat, you check how many places you want the pleat to be. So for this down part I will want mine to be in 8 places. Then you determine how many inches each of the pleats will be. So I'll be using 4 inches for each of the pleats. So what I'll do now is to multiply this 4 by 8. Remember I said I want the pleat to be in 8 places. So 4 times 8 will give me 32. Okay, then 32 plus the waist measurement. The waist measurement is 28 plus 1 inch for seam allowance, that is 29. So I will check 32 plus 29 and it will give me 61. Then the 61 now I will divide it by 3.14, which is the formula for half circle, and it will give me 19.25. So what I will do now is to mark out the 19 from this point to wherever it falls on this area. So I will mark out the 19 inches. So that is 19 inches there. So I'm going to mark that out to the other end. This is 19. When measuring this, make sure what you have as in the length, the remaining fabric will be enough for the length. Okay, so you do your maths very well before making this. If it's not enough, you can make your pleat 3 inches or even 2.5. It's not that bad. So this is 19 inches. I'll mark that to this other end, and then I'll connect it and cut. After cutting it out, I will now mark out the length of the down part. Cutting it out, I will now mark out the length. For this, I'll be making the length 35 inches. Okay, so here is 35 inches on the dot. So I'm going to mark it to the other end. After cutting it out, this is the length here. So what I'm going to do now is to notch the sides and the center. It will enable me to know how to place the pleats. So I'm going to give this center a notch and the side also a notch. Okay, then I will now open it up. So this is it. I've opened it up. I'm going to start from this center point that I notch to pin the pleats. So I'm going to start from this center point. Remember I said I'll be using 4 inches for the pleats. So this is 4 inches. This is 2 here. So I'm going to mark, this is the 4 inches here and this is it. So I'm going to use here now and and fold it like this to this other to this center point. So I'm going to use my pin and secure this. This is the first pleat, and now this is the second pleat. I'm going to secure this as well. So now I'm going to repeat the same process all around. Remember I said that 4 inches is what I'll be using. So now this is the center. After this is the center, this is the side. Okay, I will do another one here to determine how I will place this middle point here. So this is the 4 inches again. I'm going to mark this. Okay, so I will also repeat the same process here. Then I'll use my pin to secure. This is the second part. So this is that center line. Okay, so I will come over to this other center point, side point here. The other one is the side. This is the other side. So I'm going to repeat the same thing here. This is 4 inches, and I'll secure as well. When making this, you take your time, you don't rush it. So this is the second part. Now you can see when you do it like this, it will be very easy for you to set it well the way you want it. Now you can see we can easily determine the midpoint here and make the one for this center. So I will also make the one for this other center. So now I'm going to take this to get the center. I will just place it over like this, making sure that these two matches. Then I'm going to give this point here a notch. This is where I'll be fixing in the other pleats. Okay, so that is the center point here for these two. So I'm going to repeat the same thing. This is 4 here. Okay, so I am going to pleat. When you make it like this, you don't end up doing a double work by losing and arranging it again. Okay, you just take your time so that you can get it right. Okay, so I'll bring the second one and I'll secure. As you can see, is almost ready. Okay, so I'll do the same for this center point as well. I will bring these two together, making sure that it matches, and then I'll give this point here a notch. Okay, then I'll mark out the 4. So I'm going to secure as well. When I finish, I'm going to use my iron and give it a good press. So this is the easy way of going about making pleats, okay, and getting it right. So after doing this now, as you can see, if you calculate, you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pleats. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to bring this this other end together like this. Okay, now you see that everything matches. Okay, so when I bring it over like this now, So instead of bringing these two together, I decided to use a simple way. So I will check what I have here. Here I have 3.5. That is from this point to this other point. So I'm going to mark that 3.5 from this point. This is the 3.5. Remember, we are using 4 for the pleats, so this is the 4 here. Okay. So now this is the 4. So now I'm going to mark out the center, which is 2. So this is where we'll be pleating this one. So I'm going to take it now from here and I'll secure it to this point there. I hope you understand what I am doing, but you can also, create your own way of going about this. So I'm going to secure this back as well. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to do the same on the other side. You can see by the time I remove my zipper allowance, you see that you have a perfect sewing. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on this other side. So 3.5. So this is 3.5. Okay, plus the 4 inches for the pleats, which is here, and the center, which is 2, is this point here. Okay, so I'm going to take this and pleat, and I'll secure it with a needle, sorry, a pin. So after securing it, this is what I have. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and then I'm going to stitch it to secure. After that, I'll now cut out the lining. So after sewing it, this is how it looks. As you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 pleats, and remember I calculated 8. So to make it to be complete 8, here now I will mark out. Remember the distance from here to this other one is 3.5. So I'll just mark that out. This part is really optional. It's not compulsory that you should do this part. So this is 1 inch. Remember, 1 inch is for my seam allowance. So this is the 1 inch here, because I really want this pleat to be at this center. So I'll just pick this now and join it with that 1 inch like this. So I'm going to hold it with my needle. As you can see, this is the one that will complete it 8. But like I said, it's really optional. You don't have to do this. You can just decide to close it up. But I want mine to be at the center. So I'm going to secure this, and I will also do the same on the other part. So after doing it, you can see that it's complete 8 pleats like we calculated earlier. So now I'm going to take the upper part, which I did before. You can check out that video so that you can see step by step on how to make the halter neck. That is for the upper part. So I'm going to stitch this now, and I'm going to join it with the upper part. So this is the upper part here. Okay, so this is how it is. Like I said earlier, you can check out the video to see how I achieved this. So I'm going to stitch this last one, then I'm going to join it with this upper part. After that, I will now show you how to cut the lining. So this is how it looks after joining it with the upper part. As you can see, everything matches together. So now I'll cut out the lining. For the lining, you can decide to use hard nets or to just make it like that. Here I have 2.5 yards of lining. I'm going to fold it the same way I folded the satin. That is in a triangle way. So this is it after folding it. Remember, the waist is 28 inches plus 1 inch for seam. Zipper allowance, that is 29. So 29 divided by 3.14 will give me 9 and some points. So I'll just mark out the 9 first. I'll mark it to the other end. After that, I'll now use my tape to make sure I have exactly what I want. So this is the 9 inches. Okay, so I'll connect it now. So now, to be on a safe side, I'll just use my tape and follow it up like this. As you can see, this is 7.5, that is 30, and it's still very okay for me. So now I will just cut that out and then mark out the length that I want to use for the lining. Remember, for the satin I used 35 inches. So for this lining I will use 33 inches. By the time I'm done sewing it, that is the hem area, I'll end up having 32 or 31. So I'm going to mark that out and cut. So here, as you can see, I've cut out the net. Here I'm using 1 yard of hard net. So I just cut it into 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 pieces. I use 8 inches. So I'm going to gather this. If you like, you can also pleat, and then I'm going to sew it on my net. After that, I will join it with the dress and close it up. Then I will show you how to put the turtleneck. So after joining it, this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's already looking beautiful. It's remaining for me to put the zip, but before putting the zip, I'll measure out the neck, that is round the neck, to determine the turtle, what I'll be using for the turtleneck. Okay, so then when I measure that out, I'm going to fold it like this, and then I will sew it round the neckline. After that, now I will now fix in my zipper and show you the final look of the dress. This is the final look of the dress. As you can see, it's already looking so beautiful. Okay, so this is the down part. So guys, that is it for today. I believe you were able to grab 1 or 2 things from today's tutorial. So please check out my other video on how to draft this upper part. So please subscribe if you have not, and I will see you all soon.